Okay, imagine this for a second. AGI, right? Artificial General Intelligence. But it's not being built in some secret lab by a tech giant with, unlimited compute. What if it's actually built by a global open source community?
Mm-hmm.
And here's the kicker. What if the blueprint for doing that, this whole strategy, is something most developers haven't even thought about yet?
Yeah.
That's what we're diving into today. It's pretty surprising stuff.
It really is. And what's key here, I think, isn't just like a new piece of software. It's a whole shift in thinking.
How so?
Well, it's about using AI itself to solve the really hard problems blocking AGI, the fundamental stuff.
Right.
It basically challenges this whole idea that you just need more and more processing power. Instead, it's about being smarter, using better algorithms, not just more brute force compute.
Okay, so let's dig into that core challenge then. The sources we looked at point to something kind of daunting, that humans, basically, we aren't smart enough on our own to crack some of these massive AGI problems, like truly reliable memory or getting rid of hallucinations for good.
It's a bit of a bootstrapping problem, isn't it?
Exactly. It's almost meta. And the solution being talked about is that the AIs themselves need to help us solve these puzzles.
Precisely. And that really shows the difference in approaches,
Between the giants and open source.
Yeah. The big players, they've got the resources, the huge GPU farms. They're likely going to lean into that brute force approach, just throw compute at it. But the open source angle, its advantage is in developing these things called ANDSIs. AI native digital superintelligences. So think of AI specifically designed to be really, really good at developing other AIs.
Okay, so they're optimized for problem solving in AI development itself.
Exactly. More intelligent algorithms beating expensive hardware, basically.
And this leads us to this sort of hidden strategy, right? This blueprint. You mentioned it wasn't just dreamed up by people.
That's right. This whole framework, this path forward, was actually brainstormed with an AI. Grok 4, specifically.
Why Grok 4?
Well, apparently it was chosen for being more optimistic, solution-focused, compared to maybe, say, ChatGPT 5, which was seen as a bit more pessimistic on this front.
Interesting. And Grok 4 had a surprising take on this.
Yeah, this is the really wild part. Grok 4 estimates that over 70% of open source developers aren't even working on this kind of idea yet.
Wow. That's huge.
It is. It's like, remember how long it took for people to realize just giving AIs more thinking time drastically improves output? It's a bit like that, a fundamental idea just sitting there.
So what is this idea? What's Grok 4's blueprint actually look like? You mentioned a hybrid approach.
Right. It combines lightweight, quick prototyping with automated experiments and, crucially, a collaborative setup.
Okay.
The goal is speed, low cost, and scalability without needing those giant server farms. It's about building a self-improving loop.
Sounds efficient. But how do you actually implement that? How do you go from a simple prototype to something genuinely advancing towards AGI?
Grok 4 actually lays out some concrete steps. Step 1 is using accessible base models. Grab the latest open source ones like Llama 3.1, 8B, DeepSeek V2, Quinn 3.7b, stuff you find on Hugging Face.
Right, small enough to tinker with easily.
Exactly. Perfect for quick, cheap prototypes focused on specific tasks. Maybe coding agents, solving logic puzzles, or math problems, things like that.
Okay, so you start small. Then what? How does it get smarter?
That's step 2, automated refinement. This involves integrating these small models with systems like Sakana's AI Scientist V2.
Sakana's AI Scientist, what's that?
It's basically a platform designed to automate AI research. It generates hypotheses, runs experiments, tries to evolve models automatically. You feed it curated data sets, maybe like distilled reasoning traces from bigger models.
Distilled reasoning traces, meaning?
Like the step-by-step thinking process of a more powerful AI, not just the final answer. So the smaller models learn the how, not just the what.
Clever. So it creates this transparent cycle of improvement.
Exactly. The community can see how it's evolving.
Which brings us to the community part. How does the open source collaboration really make this faster or better than just individuals working on it? Seems like it could get messy.
That's the third absolutely vital piece.
Yeah.
The collaborative hub. Picture a central GitHub repo, maybe called AI Reasoning Boost or something. You fill it with everything people need, the distilled data sets, training scripts, how-to guides, RIG setups. Make it easy to jump in.
Right. Lower the barrier to entry.
Totally. Then you rely on standard open source practices, pull requests for improvements, forums for discussion, maybe even community votes on which changes get merged. It becomes this collective brainpower, driving progress and sharing the costs.
So let's tie this all together for you listening. What this blueprint really suggests is a fundamental shift, right? It redefines how we might get to AGI. It champions this idea of decentralized work, clever algorithms, community effort over just raw compute power controlled by a few companies.
Yeah, it offers a pathway that's potentially faster, definitely cheaper, and way more transparent. Collective intelligence versus corporate muscle.
It's a compelling vision.
And it leaves you with a really important question, I think. If an AI, like Grok 4, can propose such a potentially game-changing strategy for its own development, one that most humans missed, well, what other profound ideas, what other unseen pathways might be out there just waiting to be discovered that could completely reshape our future? Things we haven't even conceived of yet.
That is definitely something powerful to think about as we all watch this AI space evolve. Thanks for diving deep with us today.